So to get the outer tie rod off, we have to bust this nut right here loose. This is the 21 millimeter to get this out. If this doesn't come out by hand, then I'm gonna go grab a hammer to get this out. All right, so that came pretty easily. Now, with this, once you break it free, you don't want to go too far with it. So I'm gonna go back snug and then break it off just maybe like an 1/8 of a turn. So once it's free, like I said, we just leave that alone, and then we'll come down here and we have to get this cotter pin out right here, and the same 21 millimeter wrench, we're going to take that to get this bolt off right here. So I'm going to get this cotter pin out, and then I'm going to get this bolt off. All right, so I got this cotter pin out, but before I spin this all the way off, I'm going to clean this up with this wire wheel here on my drill. If you don't have a wire wheel in the drill, you can just use a wire brush, and then I'm going to spray it down with some PB Blaster before I start cranking on this. So as you can see, it's been sprayed down and it's coming off so easy. So this is the reason why we clean these and spray them down. Now when it comes to getting these outer tie rod ends out of here, now since we're changing this, we can beat on this with no problem. But just in case you need to know how to get it out without damaging this, normally you would hit around here on the outer side of this, kind of like that. Shake everything up. And if that doesn't do it enough, try hitting on the other side and then putting the castle nut back on. Now, for these, I have so many nuts and bolts. I normally keep extra bolts around, so I'll use my extra bolts, my spare bolts to hit with these. But just so you can know, you can still use your old, and just put it on, not all the way on, but mostly on, so you're not hitting your threads. And then you can hit on the bottom of this, just like that, to get that out. Now this should thread off nice and easy with no thread damage. So that's how you get that out of there. This outer tie rod end is free to remove. So all we have to do is, remember, don't move that nut there. You want to leave that nut right in place. So we want to take this all the way off and just put our new one back on where it is. So when I'm changing the inner and outer, I like to count the threads, but since I'm only changing the outer, I'm not going to count the threads. I'm just going to put it right back flush to where that lock nut is. So let's get our new one on. So we're just going to get this all the way flush up with this nut, and of course we're going to want this to be facing downwards so we know where to stop with this. Okay, so it stopped right there and we're not downwards, so I know that I'm not past that nut, so I'm going to go backwards and leave it right there. So that's most likely my stopping point. Once I get this back into this knuckle, then I'll tighten up this nut to meet this outer tie rod end. So before I lock this all the way down, I'm going to tighten up this castle nut down here first. All right, now throw a cotter pin through here. All right guys, cotter pin is in. Let's go ahead and bring that all the way back. So this is a 22 millimeter I'm using. So of course it's gonna shift first, but once it stops right there, then I can go ahead and tighten that like that. And that's pretty much it.